morning. Happy Tuesday. So excited to be here with you again. Welcome back to Miss Cassidy Creates. I'm Miss Cassidy. I'm going to go ahead and get us set up on our computer here so that I can see all of your wonderful questions and comments. I hope you had a really good weekend. I hope you got to do something fun. Maybe you got to celebrate a little bit, and maybe some of you got to watch Hamilton. I know I did. I hope you got to do something to make your heart happy, that helped make somebody else happy, or just gave you overall an enjoyable weekend. Let's get all set up here, almost there. This week we are doing, we're going to make an upcycled bird feeder today, and then on Thursday we're going to take a yoga adventure. I also have a couple classes up on OutSchool that are running this week. We actually start our Biddy Ballet classes today at 4 o'clock Eastern, going till 7. We have a couple different age groups there. So if that's something you'd be interested in, head over to the page. I have OutSchool linked as the website, or you can go straight to my page if it's easier to listen. It's www.outschool.com/teachers/Miss Cassidy. I would love to get a couple more little dancers in those classes. I know I have 1 or 2 friends that came over from here that are joining me in that, and I'm so excited to get to interact and work with you, all sorts of good stuff. And as you may have noticed, we got a little bit of an upgrade in the studio. Maybe when we have yoga day on Thursday, you'll get to see the whole thing. But I hung up some curtains because it is hot up in my studio, and this way I get to keep my air conditioner kept in nice and tight with me. All right, we are all set. I have got my video up and running. Yay! All right, friends. So today we're going to talk about birds, and we're going to make our own upcycled bird feeder. So the supplies you're going to need for that are going to be an empty cardboard carton of some kind. You can have a taller one than this. It can be these little short ones. Some paints. I have a collection of paints right there. Obviously some paint brushes, or you could use your fingers, I guess. Just be prepared for that. And some bird seed. You can either buy bird seed, or we're going to talk about some of the really good things that you can put in your own homemade bird seed. If you were going to go the homemade route, go ahead and look around your kitchen for some raw, natural, unflavored seeds and nuts. And then we're going to talk a little bit about which ones are best for bird feeders. And then you're going to need some scissors and some yarn or some twine. All right. Oh, bonus activity, because I think we'll have a little bit time after. If you want to do this, we're going to make our own binoculars. So you're going to go ahead and grab 2 toilet paper tubes and glue, and maybe I'm going to use, where'd they go? I'm going to use paper clips just to help hold it together while it glues together, or binder clips, whatever you've got laying around, but that's also not super necessary because that's a bonus activity. So we're talking about birds today, and there are over 10,000 different kinds of bird species all over the world. We talked about the rainforest last week, and we talked about how many birds are in the rainforest alone. Now think about all of the birds that are in the rainforest and all of the birds that are in the forest behind your house, or that live in the mountains in the desert, or that live in more tropical areas. There's so many different kinds of birds that live all over the world. They are warm-blooded creatures. They lay eggs and they have feathers. That's what we use to define a bird. So warm-blooded is just like you and me. We're warm-blooded. Reptiles are cold-blooded. So things like lizards and snakes are cold-blooded, but birds are warm-blooded like us. They lay eggs, which we probably know because you may have gotten to once upon a time see a bird building a nest in your backyard or on your porch. Maybe you've gotten to see some little bird's eggs in there. Maybe you got so lucky as to watch them hatch. I know I had that happen on my back porch once, and I also know that when I was in, I want to say 2nd grade, we hatched some chicks in an incubator in our classroom. So maybe you've gotten to do that as well. Chickens are one of the most common birds all over the world. Everybody's pretty much got chickens. Scientists believe that birds evolved directly from dinosaurs. I don't know about you guys, but I love dinosaurs, so that makes birds even cooler to me, that they are directly related to dinosaurs. Think about that. We have all these amazing pterodactyls and all of these incredible dinosaurs out there, and now we got birds, and they're pretty closely related. Crazy. Birds have hollow bones. That means that, unlike us, we have solid bones in our body. Just like solid, something that's solid is, let's see, this table is solid. Whereas the inside of, say, my cup when it's empty is hollow. And the bird's bones are hollow because it makes them lighter and it's easier for them to fly, which makes a lot of sense if you ask me. Birds are highly intelligent creatures. They're very smart. They use tools to crack open nuts and seeds, which are very impressive. Ostriches are the biggest birds on the planet. And here we've got an ostrich. Look at how big that guy is. Whoa, big time ostrich. And then the littlest bird is the bee hummingbird. And you can't even really see it in this picture until I get up and close. And look at how small that bird is compared to its feeder right there. That gives you some idea of the scale. That's a tiny, tiny little hummingbird. But we don't have a lot of ostriches naturally in the U.S. if we have any. We do have hummingbirds. Can you think of any birds that you see in your own backyard, wherever you may be? Maybe you're not in the U.S. But think about some birds that you might see in your backyard. Can you name any? Well, let's see. In my backyard, I know I have seen cardinals, those nice big red birds. Have you ever seen a cardinal? I've seen blue jays, which I love blue jays. I think they're the prettiest of our normal kind of common birds. What other birds? Can you think of one? Is it cardinals, blue jays? What about pigeons? Oh my gosh, who can forget pigeons? Come on. Pigeons are everywhere. At least, I don't know, maybe for those of you that don't live in the city, you don't have to deal with pigeons as much as we do, but I've seen a lot of pigeons. What else we got? We've got cardinals, blue jays, pigeons. What about, do you know what the kind of bird is that goes with their beak outside of your window maybe, and they make a loud noise when they're pecking into the wood? Let's see if anybody can pick up on what that one is. There's also finches and sparrows and mourning doves. Mourning doves are the most common of the birds in North America. That is, sorry, my words are not coming as easily as they do sometimes today. So there's all sorts of wonderful birds all over the place. A woodchuck, well, a woodchuck, I think we mean a woodpecker, because I think a woodchuck, maybe not. I guess woodchuck's a different name for it, isn't it? There you go. I'm learning something new just like you. So there's all sorts of wonderful birds in North America. What about crows? Have you ever seen big, scary black crows? Or chickadees or ravens? Pretty cool. There's all sorts of birds. Fun fact, for my friends that are from Baltimore or like football, the Baltimore Ravens are named after Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven. I'm from Pittsburgh, so we're not really allowed to like the Baltimore Ravens very much, but that's pretty cool if you ask me. Robins! Oh my gosh, what a good one. I totally forgot about robins. So good. You're absolutely right. So there's all sorts. Falcons. Oh my gosh, keep them coming. Keep them coming, guys. I love this. You're helping me remember all sorts of ones. So today we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our own DIY bird feeder. Now you can buy bird seed at garden stores, at pet stores, all sorts of things. And if you want to do that, that's great. You can also make your own bird seed at home with a couple easy ingredients. The most important thing when you're making your own bird seed is you want to make sure that whatever you're using is totally raw, unflavored. Like a lot of times when you get seeds and nuts, if you go and buy sunflower seeds from like the gas station or a corner store, they're salted, right? And that's no good for our birds. We don't want that to happen. So you've got to make sure that any nuts and seeds that you add to your homemade mixture are raw and plain, because we don't want to make our birds sick. That's no good. Sunflower seeds are very popular in bird seed mix. They're very high in fat, in protein, and in fiber. So they're very good for the birds, and they love them. If you look at a lot of bird seeds, almost all of them have sunflower seeds, either with the shell on or already cracked. And here you can see the ones I have the shell on right now. Can you see that? There we go. That helps a little bit. And the one thing to think about is that if you're going to get the ones with the shells on, they're going to crack them open, which can be pretty cool to watch, but you got to know that you're going to have some sunflower seed shells all scattered around your bird feeder. I also have some plain pumpkin seeds in mine. Pumpkin seeds are a great choice. Birds also love white millet, which is another kind of seed. It's a good source of protein and calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus, all sorts of things that we need in our bodies too. But white millet's good. That's going to be better for birds that like to eat on the ground. So that's something that's going to spill out of your bird feeder and help the little ones that like to eat on the ground eat a little bit more. Cracked corn is perfect to add in. It's better than whole kernel corn because smaller birds need to take smaller bites, right? That's the one thing I have lacking from my mix. The things that I have in here today, I only really had big pieces. I wish I had some smaller pieces, like you can take crushed up peanuts. You can take cracked corn, like I said. What else did I say? Pumpkin seeds, getting anything that you can that's a little bit smaller. That's going to be good so that you can get a wide variety of birds. Only big guys are going to be able to handle this. And I might even take the time afterwards to crush up some of these. The idea, remember, they do get to use their tools, so they'll be able to break them apart. But you have road runners in Texas. That's so cool. The only thing I know about road runners is from cartoons. It'd be pretty cool to see a road runner. Birds also love dried fruit, so I've got some dried cranberries in there. Oh, hello, baby boy. What's up? He hears me shaking this and he thinks it's treats. Dried fruit is great. Raisins, I used cranberries in here. And again, you want to make sure that those are as natural and as plain as they can possibly get. You don't want any that have any added sugar. Just the nice, good, natural stuff. So I've got my bird seed here, and whether you bought it or you're making your own, you're going to go ahead and gather that. Now what we're going to do is we're going to take our empty carton. I've got a Turner's iced tea carton, which if you're from Western Pennsylvania, you know. If you know, you know. This is what I drank in every cafeteria I was in all throughout school. So I got myself a little Turner's tea. It's empty. And what we're going to do is we're going to take our scissors. You want to get a grown-up or somebody who's very good with scissors, an older sibling. Maybe you're super grown-up and you've done really well with these, but as always, we want to be very careful when we're using scissors, right? Gotta be safe. I'm going to take the end of my scissors and I'm just going to poke a little hole. Might be easier if I open them. Poke a hole in one side of my carton and then in the other side. And you can see it's going to want to collapse a little bit. That's okay. We can pop in there and help pop it up a little bit. And then what we're going to do is we're going to do the same thing. We're going to, baby boy, what are you doing? You're going to take your scissors and you're going to go along one of the sides here, one of your big sides. I'm going to go over here. I'm going to put just a little right up in that top corner here. I'm going to stick my scissors in to get a hole going. Oh, it wants to collapse. Let me see. I'm going to try something else too. Let's try one of these paper clips. There we go. That worked a little bit better to at least poke my hole through. So if you have something else and you're struggling a little bit, get another little pokey device. And then we're going to just cut right down the square there. See? Cut right there. I'm going to leave myself a little bit of space, like the width of my finger right there. I don't want to cut all the way down because we need something to help hold our seeds in there. And then we're going to cut back up. And then cut across so that we end up with a nice open area in the middle, but with a nice little lip to help hold our seeds in. You made a bird feeder out of a toilet paper. Yep, that's another very popular one. You can take toilet paper tubes and you cover them in peanut butter and a bunch of bird seeds as well. That's a great idea. That one's gonna, well, that's another thing we'll talk about in general with these. This isn't gonna last forever because obviously it's cardboard. You're probably gonna wanna put it underneath a roof when you hang it outside so that if it rains, it doesn't get soaked because that's gonna make it fall apart. But all of these are good because you can always make a new one and you can keep getting creative with it. All right, so I've cut my hole in my carton. I've got my two little holes up top. Now I'm going to take my twine or my yarn, whatever you're using. Oh, baby boy. Oh, he tried to play and catch the string, but instead he just clawed at my leg. You're lucky you're so cute. Ow. All right, we're going to go ahead and we're going to push that through our little holes here. Might take a little extra working here. We're using these paper clips for all sorts of things. I'm going to attach it onto my paper clip so that I can push it through and use it like a needle. Oh, it almost worked. Let's try that again. There we go. That's on one side. Let's get the other side going. And you are going to put them through both of those holes up top because this is going to be how we hang it from the tree. See, just like that. Go ahead and tie a nice tight knot up top, but you want to leave, obviously, so that they can hang. Tie yourself a knot. This is a good opportunity to practice tying your knots. You can make it into a bow if you want. You can make it into a really tight knot. Easy peasy. All right. Now is the fun part. Now we're going to decorate it. So you can paint whatever you want on it, as always, which I just realized, oh, here. I'll go ahead and use this paper. Because this is a good way to recycle. Who knows when I was going to use that picture of that hummingbird again. But instead, I'm going to use it as a little artist palette right now. So I'm going to take my paints, squirt a little bit out. I've got blue, I've got yellow, I've got green. And you know what I think I'm going to paint on mine? I'm going to paint my favorite flower. I'm going to paint a sunflower. Oh, I'm running low on paints. All right. So let's go ahead and get out our paintbrush here. And you, of course, as always, can paint whatever you want to paint. That's the best part about this. You get to decorate however you want to decorate. And some cartons, it's going to depend on what paint you're using and what kind of carton you have. Like, since mine has got a lot of designs on it already and a lot of colors, so you can see, even with I paint, you can see that peach cooler coming through, my peach tea cooler. What I can do is if I want to let this dry a little bit, I can keep going over it and eventually it'll become harder to see the design through it, but I don't really mind. I think it looks kind of cool. There we go. Here, we'll even get fancy. And I'll outline it with my blue so maybe we'll see it a little better. And the fun part about once you get this hung up is it's going to let you watch all of the birds that like to come into your yard. And you can start paying attention. Look at that. I got a little sunflower going. That doesn't look so bad. Although I didn't realize I still had some tea in there. I drank that this morning. Let me get a paper towel to clean myself off. And you can paint all the sides of it. You can paint different designs. You can add your name. You can paint a bird. All sorts of good ideas. So let's see. I got my sunflower over there. What should I do on this back side, do you think? Why don't I put my name? I'm going to put Miss Cassidy. We'll do it in blue because the blue seems to show up. Oh, this is going to be backwards when I show it to you, friends, because normally when I write things, I write them backwards so you can see them, but I'm not good at doing that on the fly. So that just says Miss Cass. Couldn't fit my whole name there. What are you going to put on your bird feeder? If you're making it, hop in the comments right now. You can tell me how you're decorating your wonderful bird feeder. Or if you're making your own bird feed, did you find anything special you're going to put in it? Let's see. I added a little bit of yellow to this side as well. And then I got one more side. Let's see, what should I do on this side? I've got, how about I do a bluebird? Since I said I like blue jays so much, I'm going to attempt a bluebird. But as we've talked about, friends, you know, Miss Cassidy is not always the best artist, but that's okay. We're going to do our best. There's their little body. I'm actually starting to realize I think this color might be purple and not blue. There's the little head. I don't know, guys. It's not going great. All right, we can give him a little beak and some legs. There's my little bird man, for what it's worth. I'm going to see if I can get creative here. I'm using my paper clip to give him some feather looking things going on, which is a lot like if you've ever done our Van Gogh activity with us before. See? Scratching it out to give him a little feather effect. That is something we've done when we talk about Vincent van Gogh. Did I just get paint on my face? Sure did! We're getting a little messy today, friends. That's okay. I love mess. That's probably just going to be there for the rest of this video until I can go ahead and wash it off. So there we go. Oh, camouflage bird feeder. That's pretty clever. That's going to make it like a challenge for the birds. They're going to smell their food, but they might not be able to see it because it camouflages in with the tree. That's pretty funny. I like it. All right, so you're going to let that dry, and you can keep decorating it if that's what you're working on. But I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to just take a handful of my seeds, and I'm going to dump them right inside. I don't want to overfill it because it's going to fall out if I do that. Now I've got all of those in there, and I would avoid painting the inside just because that's where the birds are going to be eating, and we don't want to get any of the paint in their food. But you can go ahead and you can hang that up just like this. Like I said, I would recommend doing it underneath a roof so that it doesn't get totally waterlogged the first time it rains. But the beauty of this project is, just like our friend Mr. Roger and the Guiding Light Kid said, you can make another bird feeder out of toilet paper tubes. You can kind of figure out, look at all of the different things that you might throw out for recycling or put in the trash, and then see maybe you can use that to upcycle your own bird feeder. It's pretty cool. You can get creative with it. If you make anything that's especially different and interesting, as always, I'd love to see it. Super cool. All right, and now for our bonus activity, we're going to go ahead and make ourselves some binoculars. If you don't have the things to make your binoculars and you want to hang out with us anyway, no sweat, of course, hang out. If you don't have the things and you're ready to go out and hang that bird feeder, that's awesome. You go ahead and do that. I do want to tell you, though, first about 2 different free apps that you can get that can help aid you in your bird watching. Audubon Birds offers a guide with 800 different kinds of birds, 3,000 images, 8 hours of bird calls, all sorts of stuff that can help you identify the birds that are in your backyard. Excuse me, sir. What do you think you're doing? You like paint. For some reason, every time I have paint, baby boy insists on being a part of it. So that was Audubon Birds, which is free. However, you have to create an account to go with it. And Merlin, which enables you to look up, answer 5 different questions about the bird, and it'll help you identify what bird you're looking at. And that one is totally free as well, and you don't need to sign up. Those are 2 apps that I believe are both available on iOS and Android. It's a great way to go ahead and keep going with your bird watching and to learn all sorts of cool things. Birds are so neat. And you know how much Miss Cassidy loves learning new things. So, for our binoculars, here's what we're going to do. You're going to take that glue, and we're going to do a little bit more than we normally do. We're not going to do a whole dot, but you still want to be careful. So we're just going to do a nice thin, maybe not, maybe this glue is sealed over. Let's see. There we go. You're going to do a nice thin line down the length of your toilet paper tube, just like so. Remember, not too much. We love to squirt a ton of glue onto things, but you don't need to. Now you're going to stick it to the other one, and this is where those binder clips or those paper clips come in handy, because to help get them to set very nice and neat, you're going to go ahead, and I'm taking these paper clips on either side, even though the one got a little bent up from helping me make the bird catcher, oh my gosh, bird feeder, different. And you're going to let that set that way. That's going to just help the glue really attach to itself. If that doesn't work for some reason, maybe it just doesn't hold up super well, parents, you can use hot glue, you can use something a little bit more sturdy, or you can go ahead and you can just tape it and make it so it won't have this kind of look, but it'll be like this, and it'll still have the same effect when you look through it. It'll kind of look more like G.I. Joe binoculars, where I feel like they're flat on top as opposed to these rounded guys. We're going to take our scissors and do the same thing we did on before, and we're going to poke a little hole evenly in each side. Boop and boop. Gonna take our twine, and I'm gonna make this one a little longer because I want it to hang around my neck. You're gonna stick it through, and then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick it through one of those holes, and then I'm just gonna bring it around and I'm gonna tie a knot right there. There you go, right on the outside. And then take it on the other side. Go in through the hole you created and do the exact same thing. You're just gonna tie the knot right around itself so that it's attached to the binoculars. Oh, baby boy, please don't attack me. Please don't, your claws are so fearsome for a little guy. And just like that, oh, it's hard to get him over my braids today. You've got yourself binoculars that you can use to look through while you're bird watching and using Audubon or Merlin or whatever you end up using to try to figure out what birds you're actually watching. And then, as always, you can decorate these however you would like. You can paint them, you can use markers, you can use stickers, you can use crayons, you can do anything you want. You can draw patterns, pictures, put your name on them, whatever makes your heart happy, and get creative. I'm gonna do some stripes on mine. And you know what, if you just want, you know what, this would be a great camouflage thing if you want to play around with painting camouflage binoculars. And if you want to just paint it all one color, that's also totally cool. That's what you want to do, so that's perfect. Oh, baby boy, why are you attacking me so much? Oh, ow. All right, friends, well, I'm gonna keep painting my binoculars here for a few minutes, but we're pretty much done for the day. I hope you had a good time. If you made your bird feeder, I would love to see a picture of it. So as always, you can tag us at Miss Cassidy Creates, or you can send them to me over private messenger. None of those pictures ever get shared. That's just there to make my heart happy. You can show me your binoculars. If you learned anything new today that you want to share with me, I love hearing about that. Your neighbor has emus? Oh my gosh. Guiding Light kids, you got cool stuff going on. I want to come hang out. I want to see emus. I love emu or emu? That's the question. So go ahead and tag us at Miss Cassidy Creates, or go ahead and send those to me personally. Thursday we'll be back. We'll be doing a yoga story at 11 a.m. Eastern time. I'm also going to start shaking up these times a little bit because I did have a friend mention to me that for those of us who are in places like Hawaii, it is 5 a.m. at 11 a.m. So they're probably not participating as much. So I might start doing some things, shaking it up every once in a while and doing some activities later in the day so we can get more of our friends in different places involved. Like I said at the beginning, I have a bunch of new classes going up on outschool.com this week. I have 3 different bitty ballet classes going on later today that I would love to see some familiar faces for, especially my 3 and 4-year-old group. But I also have a 5 and 6-year-old group and a 7 and 8-year-old group. I have a cooperative storytelling class going on tomorrow, and then I have a couple things going up for my friends that are a little bit older. Maybe you're in middle school, or maybe even your siblings who are up in high school. So check that out at outschool.com/teacher/Miss Cassidy. I've also got that linked on our main page, as well as if you have never signed up. This is just intense. This crazy paint going on. Why not? If you haven't signed up for OutSchool before, if you are brand new, go over onto the Miss Cassidy Creates page. I have a big long post that talks all about the things I'm doing over there. But most importantly, it includes a referral code that if you sign up using my referral, you get a $20 credit to your first class. So that is a great way to get started. All of the classes on OutSchool are super interesting and varied, and they also range in prices. So there's something for everybody there. I would love to start seeing more of you over there because it lets me actually see you and not just type and talk, which, don't get me wrong, I love. Keep doing it. But I also would really love to see your faces if it's possible. So have fun making your bird feeders, your binoculars. Go out and watch some birds. And I will see you Thursday at 11 a.m. You keep on smiling, you keep on being yourself, and I will see you soon.